There was a wooden bench at the old city bus stop on 7th and Grant. The kind of bench that creaked when you sat on it, with peeling green paint and initials carved into the slats by teenagers from decades past. It wasn't much to look at, but for the people of the neighborhood, it was something familiar, something reliable. A quiet place to wait for the number 42 or rest your bags after the grocery store. For most people, it was just a bench. For Mrs. Eleanor James, it was her morning ritual. Eleanor, 84 years old and sprightly in spirit despite the cane she leaned on, arrived at the bus stop each morning at precisely 7:15 a.m., though she rarely took the bus. She wore the same beige trench coat in winter and a soft lavender cardigan in spring, and she always carried a thermos of black coffee and a paper bag filled with something warm. She came to that bench not to wait, but to give. Eleanor had started showing up 5 years earlier after her husband passed away. The quiet of her home had grown unbearable. She used to spend her mornings making breakfast for Thomas, listening to the news and reading the newspaper aloud to him as he smiled and pretended to listen. When he was gone, the silence became deafening. So she took to waking early and walking to the bench. The first morning, she brought 2 sandwiches, one for herself and one in case anyone needed one. No one took it. The second morning, she brought 3. One was taken by a construction worker who thanked her shyly and walked away smiling. The next day, there were 5 sandwiches and 2 thermoses, coffee and hot tea. A young woman with tired eyes and a child in a stroller accepted a sandwich with a tearful nod. And so it began. People started noticing. Commuters and night shift workers, the unhoused high school students running late, single parents juggling, toddlers and groceries. Eleanor became a constant. She greeted everyone who passed with a kind smile and a warm offering. There's always enough, she would say. And somehow there always was. She never asked for money or recognition. She never asked anyone why they needed a sandwich, a cookie, a hot cup of something. She just gave. The only thing she asked was your name. Because everyone deserves to be remembered, she'd say. The community began to change. Teenagers who used to graffiti the bus shelter began to clean it up. A local artist painted a mural behind the bench, Eleanor's face surrounded by flowers, books and birds with the words, "You matter." A small grocery store nearby began donating bread and fruit. A coffee shop started sending over extra pastries. Eleanor accepted it all with humility, refusing to let anyone call her a saint. "I'm just filling time," she'd laugh. "And I can't eat all these muffins myself." Then came winter. One morning in January, Eleanor didn't show up. 7:15 came and went. So did 7:45. By 8:30, there were 10 people at the bench, holding coffee cups she used to hand out, all staring down the street. By 9 someone went to her house. The front door was ajar. Inside, they found Eleanor sitting in her armchair, peacefully asleep, but unresponsive. She'd had a mild stroke in her sleep and was rushed to the hospital. The news spread quickly, like wildfire. Within 48 hours, the bench overflowed with flowers, candles, cards, and drawings. Children came with their parents. Strangers stood with heads bowed, and people started showing up at the bench, not just to mourn, but to give. For 2 months, Eleanor remained in the hospital, recovering slowly. During that time, the community kept her routine alive. Volunteers made sandwiches, passed out coffee, and sat with anyone who needed someone. They called it Eleanor's Hour. When she finally returned, frail but beaming with gratitude, the entire neighborhood had gathered at the bench to greet her. Banners stretched between lampposts. Balloons danced in the wind. The mayor was even there, handing Eleanor a key to the city, though she just chuckled and said, "I'll probably misplace it." That bench became more than wooden nails. It became a symbol of everyday kindness, a place where no one was invisible, where names were remembered, and dignity was served with a cup of tea. Years later, after Eleanor passed peacefully in her sleep at the age of 91, the city renamed the bus stop. A new sign read, "Eleanor's Bench, sit, share, stay kind." Every year on her birthday, people still gather at 7:15 a.m. to pass out sandwiches and coffee. No speeches, no music, just simple, honest acts of kindness. Because Eleanor taught them that you don't need power or wealth to change the world. You just need a bench, a warm heart, and the will to show up.